Minutes for October 1st.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And we have a new public hearing, which I will read in for 105 Copeland Street. Under the Wetlands Protection Act, Chapter 131, Section 40 MGL, as amended, the West Bridgewater Wetlands Protection Bylaw and Rules and Regulations and Conservation Commission will hold a public hearing on October 15th, 2024 at 6:30 p.m. in the McDonald Brown Conference Room, 65 North Main Street, on a notice of intent at 105 Copeland Street for a septic system upgrade.
Not here.
I don't see Scott here. I don't see anybody from them. If you want to table it,
Yeah.
I would
So
we can just move on to the next one.
okay, so I'll just table this for now and move on to the next one till they get here.
Okay.
So the next one is 506 West Center Street.
And they have requested to continue to December 17th.
Okay.
I have no objection.
Any problems with that?
I'll
No
make-
issues, okay, so I entertain a motion to continue to December 17th.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And the next one is 432, 440 West Center Street, notice of intent. A general stormwater management permit for proposed redevelopment with automated car wash, access dive, parking spaces, and vacuums.
Here we are.
Welcome back.
So I'm trying to remember, is this,
Yeah.
I don't know if there's a podium or a microphone. Good evening, my name is Garrett Tunison, Tunison Environmental Consultants. I'm here on behalf of the clients. Last time we met was a while ago. That was back in late spring.
Yeah.
And since then, the project had to go before the ZBA. So it has. Everything appears to have been approved, the last ZBA hearing. So now we're back before the commission. Since then, there were a couple of questions by the review engineer, Allen Major Associates. Phil Cadero, I believe, was reviewing the project. Since then, it was my understanding he's looked at everything and that most things were addressed. There were only 4 things, and they were minor, that were still, of concern, but again, they were minor. So Scott is here. Maybe he can shed some light on the engineering comments.
Hey, Scott.
Yeah, I know, you had to sprint.
Sorry.
Well, I think at this point, we have a blessing from Allen and Major. So they were all set with a review. We got an email from Tim, I believe, last week with a few items to address. Some were his items, some were items that came up at the ZBA. I think the most significant one was the addition of a stockade fence along this lot line here with our residential, just with our butter, not so much residential, but with our butter. On the other side, it's a chain link fence. As Garrett has explained before, that's a requirement of natural heritage. So we have that in, and they've got special construction methods for putting a fence in. So we also have a note on the chain link fence. No dumping or throwing snow over the fence sign on the chain link fence that Tim asked for. Erosion control notes. The specific notes that are in your filing packet has been added to sheet number 7. I've got the list over there, but you can save me 20 steps. What else was it, Tim?
The only other,
Oh, there was a note just on the cover sheet from the ZBA about the note, instead of saying according to site plan approval from the planning board, in this case, it's site plan approval from the ZBA. So we just had to change the planning board to
The wording, yeah.
the original cover sheet had just Center Street listed, not
Yeah,
West Center Street.
Not West Center Street, we like that as well. Yep. So, besides, like I said, we went through the Allen and Major comments. Most of them, even from the beginning, were, kind of like in the weed engineering issues. just different numbers to use, didn't really impact the design at all. The Board of Appeals has looked at it, they had a couple of comments and concerns about the exit out onto West Center Street, and how exactly our project would align with West Street, so we kind of slid our entrance down and slid the one-way exit only further down, so nothing lines up with West Street. That was really the ZBA's main concern in the process. So we had a meeting with them, as Tim said, last week, last Wednesday. They were pretty much all set with everything, just waiting on you folks.
They said anything about West Street possibly being one way in the future?
Rumors.
Yeah, there's talk.
Yeah.
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 Which will
Only
help.
other item then, since you've addressed all of those, is the snow storage area.
Yep.
And on the latest set of plans, from the original ones we had looked at, it's actually right on the plan you have there.
Yep.
It works.
Yep.
The snow storage area is in the 50-foot. We've typically not had snow storage in that area.
That's right.
I know it's a really tight site. You don't have a lot of room to put snow anywhere.
Yeah, we've said if, we could certainly limit it to outside the 50. We could, we've talked before about giving up a few of the parking spaces, the employee spaces here, we can give those spaces up and have the employees park in the vacuum spaces. And then, realistically, if there's, a series of storms that's
If
gonna
there's
hit-
enough snow to fill that whole area,
Yeah.
you're gonna be in trouble.
Exactly.
I mean, that's-
You're gonna have to
You'd have to haul it out anyway, yeah.
Offsite, exactly, just like, most of these sites, we just don't have that much room left on the sites once we jam everything into these
I
sites. so.
personally would like to see it moved out of the 50.
Okay,
Or,
Only because that's
Or-
our, or,
If any kind of storm significant over plowable, 3 inches?
yeah,
To come in there and just blow it into a truck or something like that, like even if it's a 6-wheeler dump,
Mhm.
just to move
See,
it
the
out
problem
and get
is-
out of the way.
If that's a snow storage designated spot, and
I know.
they just plow it all into that area,
Yep.
it one can grow, and not that there's gonna be a lot of debris and trash in it, but it's gonna melt and it's gonna all run that direction.
Yeah.
right,
And that's why the no dumping of snow over the
Right.
chain link fence, we've
Right.
used that in other places and it seems to have worked,
right.
was my suggestion for the no dumping. It's just,
I think maybe as a condition of approval, I'll certainly revise the plan to get it out of the 50. And we can even place a couple of signs on the ground, right at the 50, no dumping of snow beyond this
yeah,
point.
and I mean,
Just so there's something there that, 2 years from now, somebody will see it that's not driving around with my plan in there.
Hopefully,
Front seat.
yeah.
because there was talk originally of the stockade fence being around the whole property.
Yeah.
And I did reach out to the ZBA and express the reason why we don't like to see that,
Yeah.
because then we can monitor what's on the other side of the stockade fence.
Yep.
And it's a little easier conservation wise.
And there's
I think
nothing behind there anyway, is there?
Right, exactly. But I think if we did that, then if, I can revise the plan and show the snow removal area at the 50-foot buffer, and then I can show 3 signs, no snow dumping beyond this point.
And then any significant stuff, you're gonna have to get out of
It's
there.
gonna be
no
trucked
matter
out
what, so.
anyways, right? They just don't have the room. to
And
do
you're,
that.
you're waiting for new, final,
Yeah, I mean, at that point, if you make those changes and send me a digital copy of the plans, then at this point, because I know the ZBA doesn't meet to finalize it until the 12th.
Right,
I was gonna originally recommend continue to our next meeting, which would be the 5th.
Yep.
That still would close before the ZBA.
before the ZBA. Yep.
But if the changes are made and been addressed,
And the fence on the butter side, who requested that? The ZBA, or was that just
oh,
somebody from
probably Harry.
was that the abutter that requested?
the what?
I think
Stop
it-
quote,
Yeah, the stockade
Stockade-
fence on this
stockade
side.
fence there.
Not at the last meeting, but it's been talked about previously.
Originally, I think on the
Yeah.
design, it was
Fence.
black chain link with
Yeah.
the slats in
Yeah.
it, and they wanted something a little bit
Yeah.
more.
Just a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
privacy
Yeah.
or something like
Yeah.
that, yeah. No, that's good though, at least we're trying to
Right.
keep them happy.
But
Because of sound as well.
Yeah.
I mean, the rest of the sides, it makes no sense to put the stockade
Right.
because
Yeah, you can't see.
No
When
real
would you
butters that
begin
are
construction, in the spring or right away?
We still have to go before BEPA, so it's going, that's
Oh,
gonna be a
really?
little while, yes.
Yeah.
We still have to file, I believe, ENF. So I don't believe it's an EENF, I don't think we're triggering any of the environmental justice areas, but I need to double check that.
But ideally, we would like to start as soon as
Of
possible.
course you would,
So we can only get to MIPA when we get your blessing. And then we can get on with MIPA filings. Once we get the blessing from the Conservation Commission, then we can move forward with MIPA.
So has the property been bought by you guys?
Not yet.
We are waiting.
Okay, so you're just waiting for all this
Yeah,
stuff
just
to
get all the
happen.
proof and everything.
Okay.
Yeah, from like
We are on a contract with
It's been a
them.
little over 2 years.
Yeah.
September of 2022.
So they keep paying for extensions essentially.
Yeah.
And
Now,
they
this
came
is
to the
not
last
your
meeting,
first, is it?
Both Bob.
They have
and
multiple.
Oh, the ones that live in the houses?
homeowners, they
Oh, really?
came- The homeowners, they
Did
came
they?
to, yes.
Not this
Bob
I see
and-
another station
This one?
advertising
No,
all
not
the
this one.
time,
Not
and they
this
seem
one.
to have
Last
like
week,
Okay.
yes,
50
they came
places
to the
around. It's a
ZBA
different
meeting,
one.
Okay.
Because they have been coming after us saying like, please, we need, Bob was making a point that he's not getting any younger. He
Yeah.
said, I'm ready to move out
And I was just
there."
thinking that myself, because I know the person that lives in I think it's gotta be Bob, in the
Bob.
big,
Yeah.
bigger house.
88.
He's not getting old, he's not getting younger, and I do know, I'm sure he's probably getting restless.
Yes, and then he's saying that the problem is that now he's being bothered by the amount of construction that there's been going on there.
True.
He said, I need to leave the place, and so he came to the meeting and he was getting on everyone like, guys, I need to leave, leave. That's where we're at right now.
Well, at least you gotta follow the steps, but you're going
Yeah,
that way,
of
so that's
course.
good. So far, so good here.
So that being said, I have no problem closing the hearings. So if you want to ask for those 4 motions, we don't have to, there's no sense waiting till the 5th.
I agree.
That's
Oh.
3 more weeks that it'd have to add to the
Yeah.
process.
Sure.
And I know MIPA already is,
Slow.
well, I've heard 4 months, I've heard 6 months.
Well, that's
So
terrible. That's terrible.
Okay.
yours is a little shorter, hopefully.
Thank
So
you.
the 3 or 4 month window, but still that's spring before you're gonna really do any work. So
So we're approving
at this point,
without seeing the final
he's got enough of it done to this plan, he can just adjust the snow
that we can go ahead
and then that we can, right. And we have 21 days to issue, he can get that done within 21 days, I'm sure.
I hope so, yeah.
That shouldn't have a problem.
Okay, so entertain a motion to close the hearing.
motion to close.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
And
aye,
entertain a motion to issue standard order of conditions
I'll make it.
that will
Yeah.
reference the revised wetland replication area.
I'll make that motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And entertain a motion to issue a waiver to work in the 50.
I'll make that motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
aye,
Entertain a motion to issue a general stormwater permit.
I'll make that motion.
second,
All in favor?
Aye.
aye.
Okay,
Done.
all set. Good luck.
Moving on.
Thank you
We
so
appreciate it.
much.
Thank you. very much.
Moving on, not at a rapid pace, but moving on.
Is there one ahead of the Breeders' Restaurant?
Yep, you're,
I'm right up on
yeah,
that.
we, we just tabled that and went on to the
Yeah,
next.
that
You
just
have to go out the door and come back in again.
Okay, so the
That's
first
a good
one.
one.
You
you
guys have a good
later.
night.
Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yep.
Have a good
Bye-bye.
So, well, untable the first one, which is 105 Copeland Street.
Thank you.
For
Sorry.
notice. Notice of intent, that's all right.
All right, Scott Farrier from Holmgren Engineering, representing Steve Stathis and Frida's Restaurant at 105 Copeland, as part of a, I don't think I'm letting the cat out of the bag, as part of a sale of the restaurant.
Yeah.
They need a Title V upgrade
Right.
to the septic system. So we've spent a lot of time and energy trying to come up with a design that fit the property without disrupting his operation too much. We were hoping to put it down in this lower corner here that would be out of the buffer zone and out of your jurisdiction, but that fell within the wellhead protection zone, so we really had no choice but to put it up behind the existing building. It's, a full-blown,
I mean, that's where the other one is now. Anyway.
yeah, it's a big system and
Is
expensive.
that where it is now?
Yeah, there's a
Sort of.
smaller system up
Yeah.
there, yeah, exactly, the green, so this one's obviously a much more modern system, bigger septic tanks, a a dedicated grease trap as opposed to just a kitchen grease trap like they have now, and quite an extensive and expensive septic system. So it falls in the back. It still is a little bit into the tree line, not all that bad though. The existing tree line kind of just catches the system, so we don't have to do all that much clearing of the existing growth in the back there. A little bit of grading in the slope, and it gets us with the grading that we need to do around the system, gets our grading right up to the 50-foot buffer zone, but not within the 50. So we really did, do the best we could to get it out of your jurisdiction as much as possible, and to try to limit the amount of clearing that needed to be done.
Now, is this just for the restaurant?
Yes.
What
Yep.
about out front?
The one out in front has a septic system, a new septic system that's already been approved by the Board of Health.
Oh, so
Out of
he
the
didn't have to touch
jurisdiction
that?
time. He needed, that one was in failure also.
Wow.
So
Oh,
he's
yeah.
upgrading the house in the front and the restaurant in the back.
So this
The
is
front
just-
one is outside of our jurisdiction.
Yep.
and-
But I mean, it's just gonna be a separate one?
Right, there'll be,
Yeah.
Okay, I'm
Yeah,
just saying,
it's
all right.
not a
Just
shared.
your
Is
typical,
that a family?
Three, is that 2-family, 3-family?
Yeah,
Something like that?
yeah, I think it's a 2, yeah.
Two,
Yeah, so,
Okay.
so just a, an individual system for the house and then the biggest system for the restaurant, so.
So did I hear you say you're gonna be taking down trees?
There's about, the existing tree line kind of comes through right about here, and we're extending the tree line probably by about 20 feet. We're taking out about 20 feet of trees to put the system in.
So can we get a replication for that or not?
It really, what's there,
Yeah.
I won't necessarily call them trees.
Yeah, it's kind of scrubby.
It's a lot of scrubby, a lot of
Yeah.
brush, a
Well,
lot
that's
of
insulting.
kudzu, a lot of invasive
Bushes.
stuff, with some Norway maples.
Yeah.
When I looked at it, I did walk the wetland line to check, as I always do. I was curious if they had spun the leaching field.
Yep,
They did.
It could have been all out of our jurisdiction.
but then it would,
Well,
it
I did-
increases the fill and the.
right,
Yeah.
and I found the
And,
slope.
Yeah.
I will say there is a line of wetland flags that got missed.
Okay,
That would be about the 100-foot
Okay.
elevation at the end of that.
okay,
And so when I walked into that, I kind of realized, okay,
yep,
I will tell you that this is a failed system.
yeah,
It
Oh,
is, it's
yeah.
not in failure, it is failed.
yeah.
Binfield.
It needs help in a hurry.
Yeah.
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 So how big of a hump?
Now, what
is it
else
gonna be?
did you have to say there, Tim?
It's
Oh,
actually
man.
not going to change much of elevation.
No,
Yeah.
it's just where it's going, it's pretty much at grade, it's just, with the
Going
breakout
down.
requirement,
Yeah.
exactly. We need to go up
Yeah.
15 feet and then start diving, so having to go up to 15 feet is basically the added fill, but it's pretty much right at existing grade. Even way in the back here, that's an existing elevation 103, and I've got a proposed 104, so it's pretty much right at grade.
Now, with that being, clearing that out a little bit, is there any talk of possibly adding parking spaces? Is it gonna be anything over the
No,
system?
no,
Or
they'll
just gonna be left?
Yeah, they'll just finish it.
Really?
And, yeah, nothing, I mean, they've got,
Parking's not bad.
yeah, they've got plenty of parking in the front, and really, and even if you park there, it's kind of a long way around to the doorway, so there's, at least no plans at this point.
I mean, I know people parked back there before, not that
Yeah.
there was a problem.
Basically employee parking.
Yeah, I think it'll be
Yeah.
an employee parking that
Oh,
walks
okay.
in through the.
'Cause, I mean,
kitchen,
this-
think.
You should be able to park on it, the way
Yeah.
they're building it.
Yeah, it's all H20 loading,
Yeah.
it's capable of taking vehicles.
I just didn't know if they were
traffic,
planning on adding
Yeah.
specifically parking
Yeah.
for customers, but if it's help, that's,
so-
yeah.
Yeah, I would think it'd be, just because the back door for the kitchen is
Yeah.
back there, so for the employees, it would make sense to enter through
Mhm.
Yeah.
that way as opposed to
Yeah.
going through the dining
Yeah.
area.
And nothing is being done with the building itself, other than
Nope.
it could
Again, as far as I
possibly,
know.
Yeah.
who knows, in the
they'll do
future,
some-
it could be
Yeah.
renovated, but not
It's
extended
It's
or
not a
anything
tear
like
down,
that.
it's not
just
an
gonna
add-on
be
to-
the way it is.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's gonna be an add-on, because
Yeah, because
we're
there's no.
spending all this time and money on this system.
True.
If you add a seat, I've gotta add to the system, so
Yeah.
you're pretty
Yeah.
much stuck, I think it's 100 seats. You're pretty much stuck with that no matter what. You
Yeah.
can remodel it, but you
Right.
can't go to
Yeah.
101 seats,
Okay.
so,
Right.
yeah.
No, it's good to know. Good.
I did send an email.
I did, and I thought Steve was gonna come by with the check.
Okay,
Uh,
we're still waiting on the delineation.
Okay,
So, and the erosion control notes, did they get added to this plan as well?
I did not update this
Okay.
plan. No, So I'll update the plan with the erosion control notes and make sure Steve gets down here with the check.
Because I mean, if those can get done, I can recommend this. So originally, I was going to say them to recommend
Continue.
issuing an
sorry.
emergency work order
Yeah.
because this can't wait.
Right.
I mean,
I
I walked into trouble when I came up the
Yeah,
outside.
yes,
so,
I did.
um,
I can get you the plans tomorrow, Tim.
All right.
So if that's the case and those can be done, then I have no problem closing it and
Okay.
moving it
So at
forward.
least
I mean,
you
they were
can get moving on.
kind of administrative things. I mean,
So not motioning the emergency?
no, I mean, we can issue it and close it. I know the Board of Health's already approved it.
Yeah, it's
I
already
talked to
been
Rob,
approved by
the
the Board of
plan
Health.
has been,
Okay.
been approved.
Yep.
And as long as the notes are on it, I want to see a installer
Yeah.
start
Yes,
tomorrow if
yeah.
possible.
Get the project going, yeah.
All right. All right, so I'll entertain a motion to close the hearing.
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And motion, entertain a motion to issue a standard order conditions that will reference the revised wetland replication area.
That one you don't have to put that in there. There's no replication area on this one.
Sorry. Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Got me confused there for a minute, okay. So. Do I hear
Okay.
a second?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
And then there's.
And there's no work in the
No
50s, so you
work
don't
in
have
the
to worry about that.
So,
Nope. So you're all set.
Okay, good. Thank you, folks.
Thank you.
you go and buy pick up some pizza and say, Steve, you got a check for me?
Good night.
Good night.
Yes,
Were
you
you
can.
here for
Is
that?
there anything you specifically need to ask anything, or?
Well, it's just that, I had lots of land, but I didn't see anything that,
Oh, so you
Oh,
were
near this one?
around the restaurant?
I don't even know what restaurant it is.
Oh, Frida's on Copeland?
Okay, now I know. All right,
Is that where you were?
I know where the land is now.
Okay.
All right. I enter it at the end of Skinner Street,
Okay.
and that's,
You were within the 300-foot
You're in a-
range, so
you're in
that's
a-
why you got
Okay.
notified.
You're in a butter.
Yep. You
Yeah.
might not have been a direct abutter, but you were.
In the area.
I'd
Yeah.
like to give that land to the conservation people if you accept it. I don't know, it's just.
Well, go, let them know and we can always look.
Get a hold of him, we'll find out.
I was going to say, if you want to give me a call tomorrow, I
Give
will
you a card.
give you my card.
I'm thinking for a card.
Yep,
we can-
that he is. How much land is there?
I couldn't tell you off the top of my head, but it's a pretty good big chunk.
Is it?
Oh, okay, that's good to know.
There's little brooks running through, it's all wetland. It's
Mm.
not wet, you could walk through it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Nice.
if you had a big rainstorm, there'd be little trickles coming everywhere.
What do you like about your land that you're giving to us?
Well, my wife's brother would bid on anything that was free, that he could bid on.
Yeah.
He said, God's not making any more.
That's right.
And a lot of stuff that, a lot of landlocked stuff that we
Yeah.
still have.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Even that one at the end of Skinner Street, they built a house and then they put a piece of lawn. I was supposed to be able to go to the edge of the woods. Now the guy's got a piece of lawn in there, so. If I wanted to go in there and get some wood or something, I'd have to drive on his lawn.
Well,
Yeah, and you have the right to do it
he
too.
did it at his own risk.
This gentleman told me one time that the street ran right up to the edge of the land.
Oh, really?
I think you did. I was in your office maybe.
Oh, over
5 or 6
here?
Yeah,
years
I think
ago.
it probably does
Yeah,
at the end of the
yeah.
street.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of those old paths, you know.
Okay, I won't hold anything.
All right, well, thank you for coming in.
Have a good night.
Good night now.
And I only have one more thing
Yep.
to share. And
All
I'll
right.
Let you take a look. I'll pass that down.
Whoa.
Oh, okay.
MACC finally and I worked and figured out our records and got them straight.
You got all 8 units.
So I have taken all my units. I have received my certificate.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, yeah.
One
It
here,
happened a while ago,
One there,
but
one
they-
here, one there.
They had some of my credits under myself,
Nice.
and they had some under West Bridgewater Conservation Commission.
Oh,
Yeah.
And so they never put them all, so I finally got in touch with them and straightened it all out, and
So they can hang it up.
so
that
they,
Yeah,
means-
you're gonna hang it up.
yeah, I'm gonna get it.
Oh, sure.
Get a laminator or something. Put it in a
Congratulations.
thing. Good, yeah.
Yeah,
that's
get a
good.
nice frame.
But that is the only other thing I had for our agenda.
Okay. Steve, you got anything you want to say or anything?
Nah, not really, not tonight.
Okay. So I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Have a good night, Steve.
Thanks,
Good
Steve.
night.
Good night.